Assalamu alaikum. This is day 2, Basic Association. Let's progress together to the next level of memory skills. I want to begin with some mental gymnastics to get your mind stimulated. Clear your mind of everything, okay? Now pick any number between 1 and 10. Got it? Now multiply that number by 9. You should have a new number. Now take the digits in this new number and add them together. For example, if your new number is 12, add 1 plus 2 and you get 13. Now take that new number and subtract 5 from it. Got it? If not, back up and try again. Now assign that number a letter of alphabet. For example, if the number you come up with after choosing a number between 1 and 10, multiplying by 9, adding the two digits together and subtracting 5 is 1. Assign the letter A to this number. B if the number is 2. C if the number is 3. D if the number is 4. E if the number is 5, and so on. Next, think of a country that starts with the letter you just picked up. Once you have the country, take the second letter in the name of that country and come up with the name of an animal that starts with that letter. Now choose a normal color for that animal. Are you thinking of a grey elephant from the Denmark? Whoa, huh? Can I read your mind or what? Hardly, I just played a simple game with you. Regardless of the number you chosen, 90% of you will end up with the Denmark. It's a fun game that you can play with your friends. I want to do that demonstration for 2 reasons. First, I want to get your mind stimulated before we dive right into the exercise. And secondly, I want to illustrate a point. What I just did was a game that you can play with your friends. That is the extent of the application of that brain teasers. What you are going to learn in this system is just as much fun as a game to do with your friends. However, please do not see that as application for this system. Application of this system is to recall the product knowledge, giving speeches without notes, and remembering customer names, remembering to call important clients, and recalling key points to a selling presentation or to helping students study. Practice by doing demonstrations with your friends. It's a fun and a good practice, but don't see this system as simply a game. If you do, you are cheating yourself. Come to think of it, now I am going to give you a list of 20 items and you are going to recall them. Use whatever memory system you normally use. This is just simply a test to give you a starting point. So sit back, relax, clear your mind of all thoughts, and remember, don't write this information down. This is a memory test. I'm going to give you 20 items to focus on. I want you to memorize this list in the exact order. Yes, in the exact order. The rules are only go through this list once and spends no more than 5 to 7 seconds on each item. Have a sheet of paper ready to write down the items you remember without looking at the list afterwards. So here's the list. How many that you recall? Did you recall all the 20? Most people get anywhere between 3 and 5. If you got 6 or more, that's great. More than 10 items is definitely above average. Did you remember the items in the same order as listed? This is important as well. As an example of why, if I know all the 7 digits of a phone number but didn't remember in which order the number went, I would be on the phone a while. Everything done in this program is done for a purpose. We will never complete an exercise that does not have at least one application. First, exactly as I stated before, it's simply a memory test to give us a starting point of reference. In other words, I wanted you to find out what's your memory capabilities are before you begin to learn this system. So write down how many you got the correct and circle it. Did you notice anything different about this system that starts with a pencil? You may have noticed that some of the items related to the number. For example, number 16 was a car and you get the driver's license when you are 16. Number 3 was a circus, and we have all heard of a three-ring circus, right? Every item on this list could actually have been associated with a number in some way. Now, I know what are you thinking. You said this system was not the basic association. It's not. You do. However, you need to have an understanding of what basic association is before we can elevate you to the higher forms of memory training. We are going to begin with association, which is the first grade in terms of memory training. This is called pencil list because it starts with a pencil. It is a basic association list. Let me show you what I mean. Picture and imagine associated with each number. Number 1 is a pencil list. The association is that numeral 1 looks like a pencil. Number 2 is a sink. The association for 2 and sink is that it has 2 knobs and 2 options. On and off, hot and cold. If you look at the pipes under a sink, the way they twist and bends kind of look like a number 2. Number 3 is a circus. The association is a 3-ring circus. Number 4 is the association here is that there are 4 lanes in a track. 4 times around is a mile. Remember the 4-minute mile? Don't you? Number 5 is a star. What would the star and the number 5 have in common? If you said a star has 5 points, that's a good association. Yes, a star has 5 points. Number 6 is a bullet. What about this one? If a bullet shoots you, you're 6 feet under, right? There are 6 bullets in a chamber of a 6-shooter. Number 7 is a dice. Do you know that opposite sides of a dice always adds up to 7? Now, what was numbers 5? Star, right? 5 points. What about 2? Sink. 2 knobs. How about 7? Dice, right? Opposite sides always come 7. If there is a 2 on the top, the 5 will be on the bottom. What about the number 4? Track, right? 4 lanes, 4-minute mile. 4 laps is 1 mile. Remember, this is what is called a basic association. It is very basic and all it requires is that you visualize and associate. Number 8 is an hourglass, and 8 looks like an hourglass because of its shape. Number 9 is a baseball. In baseball, think about it. Oh, that was sink, right? Number 3, circus. How about 7? Dice. Number 10 is a fingers. I would be willing to say that most of you have 10 fingers and 10 toes, so 10 is fingers. Number 11 is a goalpost. There are 11 players on each football team. When a field goal is kicked, the referee makes his arms go up like an 11. What about 5? Star, right? 5 points on a star. What was 9? Baseball, white. 9 innings, 9 player. How about 6? That was bullet. 6 feet under, death, grave. Number 12 is egg. A dozen egg. That one is pretty easy. Number 13 is a flag. What do you think the association for 13 and flags are? Do you think of original 13 colonies? Did you know that there are 13 stripes on an American flag? What was 10? Finger. 10 fingers and toes. Hold out your hands and say 10. Hold out your hands and say 10. If someone gives you 5 on both hands, that's 10. If you have a $10 bill, you wrap your fingers around it so you don't lose it. That's just a way of remembering things. Number 14 is a necklace. 14 karat gold. Valentine's Day is a 14 February. A necklace could be a Valentine's Day gift. Number 15 is a paycheck. When do a lot of people get paid? The 1st and the 15th, right? Now, if you don't get paid on the 15th, what if I told you that on the 15th of every month, I had a check for $15,000 waiting for you in my office? Would you ever forget to come by my office on the 15th? So, 15 is what? A paycheck, right? Number 16 is a car. When you get a driver's license, 16, right? Number 17 is a magazine. Some of you men may not know that there is a magazine for teenage girls called 17. So what was 17? Magazine, right? Remember, it's a magazine. How about number 14? Necklace, 14 karat gold. Valentine's Day. Number 18 is a soldier. When is someone eligible for that draft? 18, right? 19 is a golf club. How many holes are on a golf course? No, not 19. There are 18. I know. You golfers know that 19 holes is where you go after the 18th hole is to relax and have something to eat or to drink. That's your belly. Number 20. 20 is a shotgun. 20 and shotgun. Ever heard of a 20 gauge shotgun? Remember that this list was created using the first generation, the first level of memory training called association. It works, but very seldom. In other words, we associate 9 with baseball, 9 innings and 9 players. If 3 was a baseball, that would not work, would it? We could not use basic association because 3 and baseball have nothing in common, or perhaps have something in common that we don't know. However, basic association does play a significant role in memory training, and it is important to understand. What was number 2? Think about it. 2 knobs. The pipes look like a 2, hot and cold. 2 is a sink, right? Now I want you to get pictures of sink, a very vivid pictures in your mind. Perhaps it could be a sink in your kitchen or a bathroom. The location is not important. What is important is to get a clear pictures in your mind. Your mind thinks in pictures. For example, clear your mind of every thought. I want you to now think of anything but a dog. Don't see a dog. What happened? You thought of a dog, didn't you? What that illustrates is your mind thinks in pictures. You don't see the words. You actually see a dog. Your eye is the strongest part of your memory. That is why when you see a person, you say, I recognize the face. What is their name? This is because you saw their face. You never saw their name. Since we know that, we recall what we see longer than what we simply hear. Remember to actually visualize these items, and the bigger, the better. Make the pictures larger than life. What was 7? It was dice. So imagine a huge, furry, man-eating dice. The dice are so big that you can't even see over them. Next, what was 12? Eggs. A dozen egg. Visualize 12 eggs. Maybe they are on the floor and you are breaking them. Next, what was 5? It was 5 points, a star. Good. Get a clear picture of a star with 5 points. What was 10? Fingers, 10 fingers, 10 toes, holding onto a $10 bill. Holding onto a $10 bill. What was 14? 14 karat gold. It was Valentine's Day. It was necklace. Get a good clear pictures of necklace in your mind. What was 17? Magazine. What was 8? Hourglass. What was 11? How about track? That was 4. Do you remember 13? What about 14? The first and the 15th. I know that you won't forget that one. What was number 1? This list is called a pencil list because it starts with a pencil. What was about 18? What was about 20? What was 19? That's a gold glove. Remember the 19th hole? Now what was number 2? Number 4, track. Number 6, bullet. It does have some applications. However, if you try to use it for everything, you are going to be up the creek in a wire boat without a paddle. It's time to stop and let's write down the list one more time. If you get stuck on one, skip it and go to next one. It might come to you. Ask yourself, don't spend more than 4 or 5 minutes on this exercise. Just follow along and put a check mark on the ones you got correct. Remember, they do have to be in a correct order and by the correct number. Did you get a better score in this time? I bet you did. What we just did was an association of an exercise and a basic association. Did you get all the 20s? If you did, that's great. Most of the people should get it at least 15 or more. If you got less than 15, the reason is that when you created an association, the pictures were not vivid enough. Remember that your mind thinks in pictures and remembers pictures, not words or abstract thoughts. So make an effort to actually visualize everything you are attempting to recall using this system. Make your pictures huge and larger than life. The bigger, the better. I promise you, if you saw that, you would not forget it. Never. So see it like the way I said. You have just completed our first lesson. I know it was very basic. However, you must crawl before you walk. This course will slowly elevate you through the level of memory techniques until eventually you will have a master degree in memory training. Association is the first level. You have just completed day 2. And I know right now what you are thinking. This is too basic. And you're right. We are at a very basic stage. Association can't be used for everything. However, you must understand before we go progress to the next level. Trust me, we are starting at the first grade level. Remember, when you learned how to read, you had to learn the alphabets first. Then when you got to the high school, you read the Shakespeare. Day 2 is learning the alphabets. By the time we get to day 30, you are going to have a PhD in memory training.